let's talk about go on to perhaps the final segment, which is talk about transferable skills from sport into business. I mean, what do you think professional athletes bring to the workforce that businesses underestimate?
Yeah, it's a good question. I would say that the strongest sides of kind of what I've learned and what I've grown into from rugby is kind of that leadership side of things is being able to speak and sort of my actions and how I kind of present myself in terms of in front of people and in terms of I don't know on calls on live meetings. I think that side of things is something that is so valuable, so valuable. And even if you're not confident with public speaking or anything like that, those skills can be built on really easily. Um, and actually, your presence and how you hold yourself is one of the biggest things that you sort of you learn from rugby. Um, and then just bolting on, like we sort of said, building that perfect worker with the skills is bolting on public speaking or bolting on, I don't know, other technical skills, coding or whatever. Um, and then I'd say that the other thing about any professional sportsman is kind of that ability to put hard work in and to go the extra mile and to understand that you get in what you put out. Um, yeah, I think that's probably the main things that I've kind of learned. There are loads of other kind of soft skills that we learn as well as players, and we don't realize it until you get put into real world situations because it becomes every day for us. But just the ability to communicate and the ability to um, like I said earlier, take criticism, give criticism, and criticism is not a bad thing. Like a lot of people get strung up on,
No.
you know, criticism being like a negative. It's actually just learning. And I actually read something about, we don't fail, we fall when we get back up, and that's part of criticism. You kind of have to make mistakes and you have to build on those rather than just sort of, oh no, that's happened. Someone said that bad about me. I'm just going to take that as like a he doesn't like me, rather than actually we're all working to this together to become better at what we do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I wouldn't necessarily use the word criticism. I'd just say it's feedback. It's not positive.
Yeah,
It's not negative. It's just feedback, right? And how you process
Yeah,
it. And you're living proof of transferable skills in business. You're obviously thriving and got a very positive mindset. And we've talked about some of those skills. What would you say the top three are for you that you take from rugby into the business world and that are helping you thrive now?
I think the biggest one that probably comes to mind is what I mentioned earlier is being able to stay level-headed and to stay at that equilibrium. I think with professional sports, with rugby in particular, there's 30 games a year. You're not going to win every single one of them. You need to understand that there's going to be some really good times. There's going to be times where it's absolutely rubbish. You want to quit, you want to stop, you don't want to do anything, you don't want to pick up that phone, you don't want to send that email. But it's actually about understanding that there's a bigger picture and it's not it's not the be all and end all. You've got to kind of just get yourself back to that level mind and get on to the next task. I think that's probably one of the biggest sort of skills that I would say is important. Um, and then a couple of others is off the top of my head. I've kind of waffled on a little bit. Sorry.
Not at all, not at all. Take your time. Have you got any to top of your head, or we can move on?
No, move on, move on. Yeah, sorry.
No problem. But I want to pick up on the point there in terms of, it is a bit an emotional roller coaster as a professional athlete. I mean, we would often laugh. You said one week you're cock of the roost, next week you're the feather duster, right? It goes up and down. It does teach you perspective. Right, and Moo and I are boxing fans, and we were speaking the other week about Alexander Usyk, the undisputed heavyweight champion, and he was asked I think he's 38 now. What keeps you motivated? And he said in his own way, I don't have motivation, I have discipline. right? And I think you just touched upon that. It doesn't matter whether it's a good week or a bad week, you have that consistency to carry on. And I think that separates
Yeah.
professional athletes out in the business environment, because we have that consistency to and we don't need that motivation. We have that discipline.